When I think of Agape, I think of when we were in the studio recording it, Joey sang into a banjo, going through an effects thing into an amp, and it sounds like a whale, like just throughout the entire track on the recording, it just sounds like this orca whale wailing in the distance, and that's probably what I think of first when I think of Agape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't play the banjo, sing into it.
That's how we roll. Yeah, well, I think we have like quite a mixture of things that we're trying to incorporate into our music. It's really hard for us to. I mean, it's kind of, we're happy people like you exist because we can't really define what we do. It's just natural to us, really. I think there's so many different ways we approach music, and
part of the reason you might have pointed that out is just the sort of sense of storytelling with some of the songs, and I think whilst that's kind of perceived as being a folk music thing, it's not really. I mean, I think a lot of like great films tell great stories, and there's so different ways to tell a story, and I think that whilst I guess it's been associated with folk music, is something that perhaps we're looking to make something that isn't just defined by that one genre. I think we just feel so lucky, and we're like, the Mumford guys have been so good to us, and Daughter as well, and we're just really good friends with them, and it's just so nice to sort of like feel like you're part of something bigger than just what we're doing or what they're doing. And
everyone that we've worked with at Communion has just been such a dream, like, to us. They really respect what you're doing, they're invested in it, and you don't get that all the time. And I've been in other bands and been signed to other indie labels and things like that, and it's not to say anyone's not great at what they do, it's just there's a different level with them. They really like take ownership and like want to be a part of it. And
I mean, I think there was a whole movement in the UK that's, I guess, been happening for like 4 or 5 years, that like all of us are kind of part of. There's just a lot of really nice just a really lovely bunch of musicians all sort of helping each other out and looking after each other. Like, I think learning off each other as well. I think we've all learned a lot off our peers, and I think the fact that we're really lucky to have come out of that kind of that little bunch of nice people, basically.
In my eyes, you were gone. To me, walking through the town, showed me the statues under.
I think with Pompeii, one of the really amazing things about that song is seeing how people react to it live. It obviously has an amazing like immediacy to people, because even when we play it to people who have never heard it before, you can kind of see people. Yeah, from stage you can see people reacting to it as you're playing it, and I think that song, perhaps more than any others, has that immediate effect on an audience, and that's that's really great to be a part of that. I think Davys' songwriting kind of dictates a lot of what goes, how the song ends up sounding.
So I'm not going to compare myself to Ernest Hemingway right now, but Hemingway used to say that he writes stories like an iceberg, and you only see the top of it, but there's 80% of it is underneath and you can't see it. So like between the words, there's like loads of meaning. And so it's kind of what you don't say, which leaves the interpretation to someone else. And that's kind of why I want to do it, really. It's like I want other people to find their own stuff in it as much as tell my own thing, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
We had a girl cry on us. That was quite crazy. That was weird.
But she cried on me, and she got her tears on my shirt, and then said that Joey was her favourite member of the band to me, and I was just a bit like, why didn't you cry on his shirt? That was a bit,
Salty rain.
Salty rain, exactly. Yeah, we make a point after shows of signing on merch and going out and meeting people, and it's really nice for us to be able to talk to them afterwards, because I don't know, I've been in bands before where you finish the show and you just sit backstage and sort of analyze the gig and get really depressed about, you know, how you didn't have a very good sound in your monitor or something. But for us now, it's just, we just want to hang out with everyone, get to know people, and we see the same faces over and over again. It's so nice for us. So.
I watched it from afar.
I was in Greece for a week last year, and that's kind of agape is a Greek word, and I think lots of stuff came from being in Greece. Really weirdly, like, sort of gave me something to like go, right, you can write about loads of things, write about this stuff. And I don't know, Isaac was something that I feel like the story of Isaac in the Bible and stuff, sort of just whatever anyone's religious views are aside, is just an interesting story, and I thought I would never really seen it or imagined it from Isaac's perspective, and that was kind of where that song came from. Just someone who, you know, you're about to be sacrificed by your dad. How do you feel? Basically, like, imagine interviewing Isaac kind of thing, and that was where that came from for me, and how I would have felt, or whether I could have understood it or not. That sort of stuff. But it's a bit cheesy. I'm quite lame. So yeah.
I'm gonna give all my love to you. I'm gonna give all my love to you. I'm gonna give all my love to you.
So 1, 2, 3. Hey, we're Bears Dead. And you're listening to
Baeblemusic.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah,
Like, hey, you're
each.
listening to Bears Dead.
It would be so funny if we could do that.
Should we do that? Okay, hey.
Wait.
Cammy says don't. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
Hey. you said you were going to say go.
No, not go. No, what do you think? Then
1, 2, 3. Hey, we're Bears Dead, and you're watching Baeblemusic. What is wrong with this guy? Okay.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Hey, we're Bears Den, and you're listening. Oh, I'm Bears Den. It's so hard. All right.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, we're Bears Den, and you're watching Baeblemusic.
I'm gonna give all my love to